Hey guys, I wanted to update you all about something new we got, and I'm going to bring it to the channel and do some reviews and talk about. We got a new tow rig, um, so we have the Can-Am side by side, which I'm sure you're familiar with, and I had a 2017 Ram 3500, a single rear wheel. It was the not the mega cab, it was the extra cab. So it had the short box, the 6.5 foot bed. And I had a 6-inch lift on that with 37-inch Nittos on it. Beautiful truck. I'll post a picture here so you can see what I'm talking about. So I did a lot of research. My wife and I, we have a toy hauler. We have a it's about like a 26.5 foot Sand Sport. I'll post a picture here for you too. Now we love the Sand Sport. It's got a big bedroom and relatively big kitchen, but we're kind of unhappy with some of the cabinet work and stuff in there. It's kind of cheesy. We've had a lot of issues with panels falling off and stuff. And the biggest thing I'm not happy with is because I got the 72-inch wide machine, which I love, but it requires, to get it in my toy hauler, I got to ratchet strap the front end together to get it to clear a valance that we have on the side and clear the cabinetry in the kitchen. And I have to move 2 chairs, I have to move 2 tables, roll up the carpet, and do all this work to get it in. And we're going to have to do that for a while. We bought a 2020 and it's new and probably upside down in the dang thing. But we do love camping. I don't have the best of backs in the world. So it's kind of a pain in the butt to start with a sore back, moving stuff all around and everything. So we decided a while ago that, we want to do a fifth wheel with a separate garage. So one of the problems is, I have this 6-inch lift, 37-inch tired truck, which I love. It's probably one of the best trucks I've ever owned. So I kind of started looking around. It's going to be a while for the fifth wheel, but I kind of kept my eye open and was doing research on dualies, because I quickly learned that if you get very heavy of a fifth wheel, especially one with a separate garage and stuff, that it becomes pretty apparent that you need a dually, or either that or you're going to be somewhat limited on what you can buy on a toy hauler with a separate garage and all that. So I didn't want to be limited. I did have a payment on my Ram. I'd paid on it for a few years. I got it into it used, so I got a pretty good deal on it, and I had some equity in it. And I kind of thought, if I got a dually, that could be my forever truck. So why not start paying on it, now, and get that done, and get through that whole process as quickly as we can. So I did a lot of research on dualies. I looked at the Ram 3500. I looked at the Ford F350, and I looked at the Ford F450. I didn't really give Chevy a look, although I'm sure it's a fine truck, and I'm sure nothing wrong with the Chevy. It just didn't capture my attention for whatever reason. And I went through a big process, and this may be kind of a longer video to explain what I landed on. I really wanted to consider the Ram because I love my Ram. It's a good truck. has nice interiors, probably the best interior of them all. And I wanted to consider that, but something about the Ford really grabbed me. I feel like, I know I'll get some pushback, and I'm not trying to be brand myopic, and I don't think you can go wrong with buying any of them. I think they're all really good trucks. But I just felt like the Ford just felt like a better truck. I feel like it's more solid, and I ended up really liking the 450. I like the new, in 2020, Ford came out with that 10-speed transmission. And I like the 350 as well. The 450 comes standard with the 430 gear ratio. I know you can get the 410 and the 350 and some other gear ratios as well. And I just kind of thought, with that 10-speed transmission, the 430 gears, it's a pretty good combination, It's very low geared, but the other thing I liked about the 450 is it came with the wide axle front end. It allows you to turn sharper than the Ram or the 350, and I liked that a lot. It's got a little bit beefier brakes as well, which I thought was kind of another plus. There's fewer of them out there though, and they don't really like to work deals on them as well as the 350s. But you start looking at every video I looked at on the internet had, Platinum, King Ranch, all that. And I just don't have that kind of money, to go to the Platinum package, on the 450. I mean, you're starting to push over 90 grand, for the truck. And to me, that was just a lot. And I had looked at some Rams, and I actually found a pretty good deal on a Ram. It was a blacked out 3500. It had the Ison transmission and the high output. And I liked it. The tires and wheels would drive me nuts. I'd have to replace those. I just don't like the 17-inch wheel and the teenier tires. I know that's kind of a dumb thing to worry about, but I know in the 450, I just felt like I could live with those 19.5 ones for a while until I pay off the truck and then maybe do something different. But I thought they're kind of beefy truck tires. And the Ram was a little more money, but I could find a pretty good deal on one that had a nice enough trim package. They had one that had the big screen, the leather seats. It had a sunroof. It had airbags from the factory. That was really cool. In many ways, the Ram made a lot of sense, but I fell in love with that wide track front end and ended up going with a 450. And I'll show it to you here in just a second. But I ended up going with a 450. I couldn't be happier. I went with a pretty low package, though. I just feel like the truck is bulletproof. It's badass. It tows amazing. And I'll give you some updates on that when I start towing my stuff around. I just felt like I got an awesome truck. To me, it's going to be like the old traditional truck. It doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles. I got the cloth interior. It's got the fixed running boards. I don't have a sunroof. I didn't get the fancy cameras, which kind of hurt a little bit because I really wanted that new fancy cameras. In fact, one of the ones I was looking at had the fancy cameras in the XLT package, but it had the bench front seat, and I really like the center consoles. And with the center console, you get the rear air, and I live here in Vegas, and you got to have some rear air if you got people in the back. And so I had to get the center console on the package they had in there. I had to lose the cameras and the fancy backup deal. It hurts a little bit, but I've never had the fancy cameras anyway. So in that respect, I guess I'm not going to miss that which I don't have. But anyway, I'm absolutely in love with the truck. So without further ado, we'll take you outside and show it to you. So here it is, the F450. That's picked a bad time to show it to you in the middle of the night, but it almost looks black, but it's actually a deep blue metallic. And yeah, so cloth seats, Nothing fancy on this side, no power seats on this side. Has the center console. It came with the navigation and everything though, which I actually really like. I did get the upfitter switches, which I'm pretty stoked about that. Didn't come with the sunroof, but I don't really miss that anyway. So yeah, it's got the power deal here. It's got one in here as well, and you can plug directly in right there and use your phone through the. So you have a couple ways you can get navigation, which is pretty cool. I love the room in the back here. So, and you can put a whole bunch of stuff under the seats and stuff, which is pretty slick. I got a first aid kit, some jumper cables, a tow rope, just random stuff, gloves. So this came with the rear air like I talked about, and the other one you didn't get this, and it's got some more, you know, AC plug in there and more USB stuff there, and also has the cigarette lighter thing there. Pretty slick, lots of room. I have the power rear window. This one had the fixed running boards. And this is part of what I love, just the whole wide track front end. I just think it looks great. It has the fog lights. It doesn't have the fancy LED lights, which is another bummer. I love the running lights up above and stuff. This one has the FX4 package, which I don't think does a lot for you in the 450. I think you just get a couple skid plates underneath. That's about all you get with that. But it did not come with a bed liner, but I'm getting one put in on very shortly. I worked it in with the deal. So that's the machine. As far as driving it goes, compared to the Ram. Now my Ram was shorter and I had the lift kit. And it being shorter and being a 3500, it rode really rough. And some of that might have been the Pro Comp shocks I had on it. I don't know. This one, I was worried about it because everybody talked about how the 450 rode so rough because of the commercial tires and all that. But I'll tell you what, it rides smoother than the Ram. And some of that is a function, I think, of the length of the truck, because it's so much longer. And I do feel the length. You know, when you go to turn it, you feel like you're driving a larger vehicle, which of course you are. Then you have that turning ability. You know, you turn it as far as you think it needs to go. And then you have like a whole nother, almost like another turn of the wheel. It's crazy how sharp it turns with that white front end, the wide front end, which is really, really nice. The gear ratio, huge difference. You know, I went from I can't remember what I had on the Ram. It was the 68 RFE. I had the 800 foot-pound of torque motor. I want to say it was like a 343 or something like that. So it's fairly tall geared, and then also those huge tires. So getting into this with, you know, basically whatever they are, 31.5, 32-inch tires with that 430 gear ratio, and then it's a 10-speed, it's nuts. I mean, the thing will be in fourth gear when you're doing 10 miles an hour. It will pull your house off its foundation in the first few gears. It's just so low geared. But then it has all the 10 gears, and I think from my research on the 19 models with the 6-speed, this, I think, does ride at a little bit lower RPM at cruise, like at 65 miles an hour. At 65, I was looking today, it's hard to tell because there's no... you know, there's a tick mark at 1500 and a tick mark at 2000 RPM. It's around 1900 RPM at 65. And I think with the 6 speeds, they ran a little higher than that, if I'm not mistaken. So really, really, really happy with it though. You know, it's not as fancy as my Ram was. Even my 2017 was a little bit fancier, I think. But it's got everything I need. It's a truck, you know. I love it. And I just, like I said, I feel like the truck is just better. It's just, at least it's got everything I want. I love the Cummins and all that, and I love my Ram. It was a good truck. It's the best truck I've ever owned, at least till now. But just my opinion. I love that V8, and the power in it's amazing. It's just amazing power. I don't know about the exhaust brake yet, if it works as good as the other one or not. I know a lot of people complained about that. I'll get back to you on that when I start towing and stuff, and let you know how that is, because it worked pretty good on the Ram. I was pretty impressed with that always. But yeah, as far as for right now, I really like the 450. I very happy with it. I think down the road, probably well after I get a fifth wheel and all that, maybe even after I pay it off, I might look into doing that 22-inch wheels and get, I don't want to get 37s, but, you know, just do a little, maybe a leveling kit and some 35s or something like that. But we'll see. We'll see. That's an expensive deal. So the fifth wheel is more important right now. So, but couldn't be happier with the truck. It's a really nice truck. You know, the pricing on it wasn't terrible, relatively speaking. It was the most expensive vehicle I've ever bought, but it's not this, you know, $95,000 truck that everybody talks about. I think the sticker price on it before any negotiations was like 71 and change. And I think the XLTs are pretty nice. I actually kind of enjoy the cloth, especially here in Vegas. You know, the seats aren't going to burn you up in the middle of the summer and stuff. So it's a good option. I'm going to put out some more videos on the 450 because I don't see a lot of them. Everything I see on the 450 is Platinum or King Ranch, or, you know, nobody has really too many videos on just a little bit lower trim package. And I think it's really worth considering, because you sure get a lot of truck for the money. Anyway, I'll keep you up to date. I'll let you know how it tows. So till then, take care.